The 68th Regiment of Foot was an infantry regiment of the British Army, formed in 1758 and amalgamated into the Durham Light Infantry in 1881. It saw action during the 7 Years' War before being converted to light infantry in 1808, fighting with distinction in the Peninsular Army under Arthur Wellesley. It would go on to fight with some distinction during the Crimean War, was present during the Indian Mutiny and the New Zealand Wars, before returning to India between 1872 and 1888. It would become the 1st Battalion of the Durham Light Infantry in 1881, the other regular battalion, the 2nd, being the former 106th Bombay Light Infantry. In August 1756, after the loss of Minorca in the 7 Years' War, the 23rd Regiment of Foot, together with 14 other regiments, was ordered to raise a 2nd Battalion, which it did while in Leicester. On 22 April 1758 the 2nd Battalion was separated from the 23rd Regiment as a new regiment, and ranked as the 68th in order of precedence with the appointment of a new colonel as Lambton's Regiment of Foot, or the 68th Regiment of Foot. In May 1758 it marched to the Isle of Wight as part of the forces stationed on the island at the request of Britain's ally Frederick the Great of Prussia. The intention was to conduct raids on the French coast to disturb privateers in the area, distract the French army and relieve pressure on Britain's allies, the Prussians. The first expedition anchored at Cancail Bay, near St. Malo, on 5 May, the Grenadier Company being part of the forces that destroyed 4 King's ships, 60 merchantmen and several privateers in Paramé. The remainder of the regiment constructed fortifications around Cancail until taken off on 12 June. After threatening other ports in the region, the fleet returned to Britain on 6 July. A second expedition involving the 68th on the French coast was landed on 7 August in the Bay of Yeovil and marched for Cherbourg. The town was taken with little resistance from the local militia, or the RA till the copyright Regiment declare, and the fort and harbour were demolished. The troops left on 16 August, but did not return to Britain. A third and final expedition was launched on 3 September. The 68th landed at Lunaire Bay, again near St. Malo, but suffered severe defeat after a concentrated French army engaged the British army at St. Cust. The governor of Brittany, the Duc d'Aiguillon, led a force of 6,000 regulars, several squadrons of cavalry and the garde-côte militia against the British, who fought rearguard action, while evacuating the beach. The French claimed British casualties were 900 officers and men, with 600 taken prisoner. The 68th lost 70 men from Captain Ravelleres's Grenadiers Company, who formed part of the rear guard with grenadiers from the other regiments left on the beach. The 68th disembarked at Cowes on 19 September, and in October the regiment marched into winter quarters at Rochester. With losses in expeditions and providing a draft of 173 men to the 61st Regiment, it was very weak, and recruiting parties scoured the country to refill its ranks. Until June 1759, the regiment embarked for Jersey. It arrived on 21 June, and remained there until February 1760, returning to England. In March, 600 men of the regiment, in 3 groups of 200, were drafted into the British regiments in the West Indies. This reduced the regiment to a mere 58 rank and file. The regiment was marched to Leeds, then Newcastle, and billeted at Tynemouth Barracks. At this point, recruiting had enabled it to muster 9 companies consisting of 41 officers and 239 men. There the 68th would remain through 1761, with a detachment sent to Durham to aid civil power and providing a draft of 95 men for the 70th Regiment. By May, the regiment was based at Hexham with its headquarters at Morpeth. It had a strength of 42 officers and 289 men. In January 1762, the 68th had grown to 415 men, and was ordered to march to Berwick, where it transferred to the command of Lord George Beauclerk, commanding in Scotland. It was quartered at the newly built Fort George, and remained throughout 1762, until July 1763, went to a ship to Ireland.